How did your dad lose his custody rights? My ex-husband Damien seemed like the perfect dad in court. Clean shirt, respectful voice, talked about wanting to be there for our son Kyle. The judge gave him every other weekend plus Wednesday dinners. I had this sick feeling in my stomach, but what could I say? He never hit Kyle, never left marks. Just this gut instinct that something was wrong. Kyle started coming home different after those weekends. Not crying or anything obvious, just quiet, really quiet. He'd sit on the couch staring at cartoons without laughing. Before the divorce, Kyle was this chatty 6-year-old who told me everything about his day down to what color crayon he used in art class. Then he started wetting the bed again. We'd been done with that for 2 years. I bought new sheets, set alarms, tried everything. Kyle would just apologize over and over like it was some terrible crime. The way he said sorry reminded me of how I used to apologize to Damien when we were married. One Thursday night, Kyle was brushing his teeth and I raised my voice just a little because he was taking forever. Not yelling, just, "Kyle, hurry up, please." He flinched so hard he dropped his toothbrush and started shaking. That's when I knew something was really wrong. I started paying closer attention to what Kyle said after visits. Little things. He'd whisper to himself when he thought I wasn't listening. Stuff like, "Don't cry," or "Daddy says you're weak," and "Big boys don't make mistakes." My heart broke every time. I called Kyle's school counselor, Mrs. Garcia. She said Kyle had become withdrawn in class too. Used to raise his hand constantly, now barely spoke. When kids made normal kid noise during lunch, Kyle would cover his ears and rock back and forth. I tried talking to Damien about it. He just laughed and said I was being dramatic. "Boys need to toughen up sometime, Rachel. You baby him too much." But Kyle wasn't tough, he was scared. That's when I did something crazy. I bought this tiny voice recorder online, the kind private investigators use. Cost me $200 I didn't have. I carefully sewed it inside Kyle's favorite teddy bear, the brown one he called Murphy. Kyle took Murphy everywhere, especially to Dad's house. The first recording was 3 hours of mostly nothing. Kyle playing quietly, TV in the background. But then I heard Damien's voice, cold and mean in a way I remembered from our worst fights. "Kyle, eat faster. You're taking forever like always. What's wrong with you?" Kyle's little voice. "Sorry, Daddy. Sorry doesn't make you less pathetic. My dad would have made me eat standing up if I was this slow." I listened to the whole thing with my hands shaking. Kyle wasn't being hit, but Damien was destroying his spirit word by word, making him do push-ups when he stuttered, calling him names when he couldn't tie his shoes fast enough. The worst part was hearing Kyle just accept it all with quiet, "Okay, Daddy," responses. In one recording, Damien pretended to call child services while Kyle was in the room. He held up his phone and said in this fake, serious voice, "Yes, I'd like to report a child who's too much trouble. His name is Kyle and he cries too much. Can you come get him?" Kyle started sobbing and begging Damien not to send him away. Another time, Damien did this sick impression of me, making his voice high and whiny. "Oh, Kyle, Mommy doesn't really love you. She just keeps you around to get money from Daddy. She told me she wishes you were never born." Kyle didn't even respond to that one, just silence. I had hours of this psychological torture. Damien breaking down my little boy piece by piece, training him to be silent and afraid. The recorder caught Kyle whispering to Murphy late at night, "I wish I could be good enough for Daddy to like me." I took everything to my lawyer, Janet. She listened to maybe 10 minutes before stopping the recording and calling the court-appointed child advocate immediately. Within 2 days, we had an emergency hearing scheduled. The judge listened to the audio with this expression of pure disgust. The child psychologist who evaluated Kyle testified that the emotional damage was severe and ongoing. She called it covert abuse, just as harmful as physical violence. Damien tried to defend himself, saying he was just teaching Kyle discipline. But when they played the recording of him mock-calling child services, even his own lawyer looked sick. The judge suspended his custody that same day, ordered supervised visits only, pending a full psychological evaluation. Kyle hasn't had to go back there since.